It's week 29 in the Barclays Premier League, and this is the results show. We're going to start things off as always with the early Saturday kickoff. It came from Wembley, North London derby. Spurs third against Arsenal fourth. Ozil and Aubameyang were on the bench for Arsenal. Lacazette restored. Mustafi was in at right back. Strange formation, although he has played there before. For Spurs, Winks was injured, still no Dele Alli, and Pochettino choosing his back three. Okay, Spurs back-to-back defeats, but Arsenal have been in form, 5 wins out of the last 6. Okay, so let's get going. Right from the kickoff, Iwobi was showing his turn of speed and was causing problems for Trippier. He an early chance. He got the pass to Lacazette, and Lacazette shot wide. In the opening sections, Arsenal was slightly on top. There was one nasty challenge by Xhaka on Kane, which didn't get any response from the referee. On 15 minutes, a counter-attack from Arsenal, and this followed a mistake by Sanchez in just inside Arsenal's half, and the ball was pushed through to Ramsey, who was just inside the Spurs' half. His turn of pace was far too quick, and he ran clear and with great composure rounded the goalkeeper and slotted the ball into the net. That was Arsenal 1 up. On 23 minutes, Spurs got a free kick. Kane, anticipation was great. He headed the ball in, but there was a late flag for offside. It was a very tight decision. Iwobi was continuing to cause problems for Trippier on the left. Anyway, 26 minutes, good chance for Son, who got into the box, but his effort was blocked. And on 30 minutes, another good move by Eriksen, but his final shot just went wide. 36 minutes now, and Arsenal were putting on the pressure for the second. Mkhitaryan was playing well, and he was also doing his bit in defence, as was seen by 2 instances within minutes, one in attack and one in defence. 40 minutes, another attack by Iwobi on the left, and it created a yard of space, but Lloris was there to deny Iwobi. Just before the interval, Sissoko followed up a shot after Leno had spectacularly blocked Eriksen, who had been found from a free kick unmarked. The initial block by Leno was pretty good, but when Sissoko followed up with a shot that was heading for the top right-hand corner, amazingly Leno sprawled it himself across and got a hand to it and pushed it round the post. So it was 1-0 at the break. Second half, Torreira replaced who did he replace? Guendouzi. I'm not quite sure why that happened. Guendouzi was playing well. Anyway, on 52, again Iwobi linking with Monreal, and the cutback to Lacazette, who just wasn't having a good day. He managed to pull it wide. It was an excellent chance. After that, what have we got? Well, Lamela came on for Wanyama. Aubameyang replaced Lacazette. Adeweireld had a chance, but his volley hit the side netting. Then on 66 minutes, free kick for Arsenal, and Lloris was struggling to cut it out, but the referee saved him by awarding a free kick for pushing. Then there was another great shot from Lamella that just went wide. Uh, so we came to 72 minutes. Ericsson on the ball, a free kick, and there was a mass of players jumping up for it. As a result of that, Mustafi managed to pushed Kane in the back and he fell over, and the referee awarded a penalty. On replay, it was clear that Kane was slightly offside at the point that Ericsson took the kick. Cook took the kick, but it meant nothing because Kane stepped up to level things one each. A frantic push to the finish, and then on 88 minutes, Mkhitaryan's great ball through to Aubameyang, and Aubameyang was brought down. Referee, it looked very soft indeed, but the referee awarded a penalty, and Aubameyang stepped up to take it, but he looked as nervous as a kitten, and Lloris managed to save it, and the follow-up, an amazing tackle by the Spurs defender, Vertonghen. And so it ended up at 1-1. Probably honours shared, about a fair result. So final score then at Wembley, Spurs 1, Arsenal 1. So to the match of the round at Old Trafford, Manchester United at home to Saints, Southampton. Rashford was back after his injury scare last week, and Pereira was selected in midfield. For Southampton, Austin up front. It was the 350th appearance for David De Gea. A remarkable stat, really. It's been a long time for him appearing at Man U, much longer than I thought. Anyway, to the action, and Southampton's goalkeeper Gunn was very impressive in the opening few minutes, denying a scuffed shot from Lukaku after 2 minutes, and then a couple of minutes later he saved the game from Lukaku. So 0-0, and then into minute 26, first real threat from Southampton, and they made it pay. Valerie picked up the ball, and he was 35 yards out at least on the minute 26, and he hit an absolute spanker of a shot, and it rocketed into De Gea's net, the keeper having absolutely no chance. So Saints were 1 up. Just before half time, United had a corner, and Smalling's header looked like it was going to hit the post, but Rashford managed to keep the ball in play, and it caused quite a problem for the defence, but they held on, and so we went to the break with Saints 1 up. Into the second half then, and we were in for another treat. Pereira picked up the ball just outside the penalty box. He created a yard of space, and he hit another fantastic strike which whistled past Gunn into the top corner, and so on 57 minutes it was tied up at 1-1. And then a matter of minutes later, some good build-up play between Young and Dalu, and Pereira also in for an assist, put Lukaku through, and his right foot shot was rifled into the corner, and United had turned it round and were now 2-1 up. To 72 minutes then, and Southampton were certainly not lying down, and they got a free kick from just outside the box, and the superlatives continued to reign. Ward-Prowse hit another awesome free kick that went into the right top corner this time. De Gea simply had no chance whatsoever, and we were back all level at 2-2, both sides pressing for the winner. And then on 89 minutes, Lukaku and managed to get a yard of space on the edge of the box, and he placed it in the corner. This guy is on fire at the moment. 3-2. We also had the opportunity to witness a late penalty from Pogba, which he managed to fluff his lines. And so that was it. United's roller coaster run continues. They won this game by 3-2. So to the Etihad, Manchester City at home to Bournemouth. Brooks was back for Bournemouth, but still no Wilson. He's long-term injury. Sterling was back in the starting lineup, as was Walker and Bernardo Silva. De Bruyne didn't last very long, I'm afraid. Had to be taken off with a hamstring problem. The match was totally dominated by City, 9 corners to 0. But they could only manage one solitary goal. Bournemouth, uncharacteristically for Eddie Howe, were playing with 10 men behind the ball, well, 11 including the goalkeeper, and City were finding it very difficult to break them down. But eventually, on 55 minutes, Mahrez managed to finish off a number of short passes that is typical of City's play as they approached the penalty box, and he was on at the far post. He hit a scruffy shot that went in. Boric could have done better, really, but anyway, they were 1-up. As I say, the rest of the game was hardly inspiring. Boric actually made a terrific save that pushed away a Sterling effort. Aguero nearly caught Boric napping with a chip, which Boric tipped onto the bar. But the match was a bit of a disappointment, but it was good enough for City. They won this one by 1-0. So, to Tubmore. Burnley at home to Crystal Palace. Team news, Dan was back in Palace's starting 11. He hadn't played for 14 months. What else have we got to say? Well, let's get on with the game. Zaha, well, he really had a great game, and on 15 minutes he started to cause havoc. He outpaced the defender. His cross was hooked back into the danger area by Slop, who had collected Zaha's cross out the far post, and it inadvertently hit Bardsley and shot back into the net. An own goal, but a deserved 1-0 for Palace. 23 minutes, Hennessy also back for Palace. He stood tall and denied Wood's shot on goal. Got to the break 1-0, and 48 minutes, it was Willie Zaha again who managed to feed the impressive Wan-Bissaka, and his cross was met by Batshuayi, who smashed it into the net. So that was 2-0 Palace, and good value for it. And then 76 minutes, Zaha again, man of the match by far, twisting and weaving the defenders inside the box. Eventually, after 4 or 5 twists, I lost count, he hit the ball through the legs and it rifled into the net, and Burnley were in disarray. Palace were 3-up. Barnes did head in a consolation on full time, but Crystal Palace, very, very good value. They won this game by 3-1. To the Amex then, Brighton, whose recent form has been absolutely dreadful. They've slipped down and are now in the relegation area. Not in the bottom 3, but they really desperately needed a win. Huddersfield were the visitors, so this was a relegation battle. And it turned out just like that. It was a pretty poor game. Brighton had Jahan Batch an Iranian, and he stamped his message on the match early on when he hit the bar with a whipped strike. Not much else to say about the first half other than the fact that Ryan did eventually have to make a save from the Huddersfield attack. Into the second half then, and Murray had a great chance, but these days he doesn't seem to be putting them away. Losel kept his cool, and a few minutes later he repeated the feat, stopping Edona, but Murray was replaced by Adone, and he immediately had an effect, because on 79 minutes he got the goal, a neat header from a free kick, which was helped on its way from the Knockard chip. Delightfully headed goal, and that put Brighton 1 up. A minute later, Mounier tested Ryan, but his header was flicked over. Brighton hung on, a very much wanted win. Houghton relieved. Brighton took this one then by 1-0. Molyneux, the venue. Cardiff, the visitors. Ruddy was in goal for Wolves, replacing Patricio. Doherty and Neves were on the bench. Nino Espirito Santos obviously not happy with the midweek dismal performance, and it certainly worked. Although in the early stages, Ruddy was looking a little bit hesitant as he juggled an effort from one of the Cardiff players, but he held on. And then on 16 minutes, we saw a classic passing move by Wolves. They look so good when they're doing this. It involved Giotto and Jimenez and the young English guy, Gibbs Wright, and it ended up with Giotto getting the final pass and finishing it off in style. So Wolves 1 up. It didn't take them long before they doubled their lead. The same pair, Jimenez and Giotto, but this time Giotto returned the favour and set up Jimenez, who glided the ball into the corner, and Cardiff looking like statues. Wolves were 2 up. On 33 minutes, Dendoncker could have made it 3, but the ball hit the post. So they went to the break 2 up. To be perfectly honest, the second half was a bit of a damp squib. Etheridge did deny Jimenez a third, but Wolves had done enough. A comfortable win, 2-0. So to the London Stadium, West Ham at home to Newcastle. Newcastle 4 wins out of the last 6 games. Could they make it a 5th? West Ham, well, they've been a little up and down, to say the least. And we had a celebration at the beginning of the match. Billy Bonds, one of the stands, was renamed the Billy Bonds stand. He was there. Very emotional moment for him. He made 799 appearances for the Hammers, and it got the crowd in the right mood. And it didn't take them long, 7 minutes. Snodgrass corner was met by Rice. His header went into the net with a lot of power. Newcastle's defence found wanting. The Hammers 1 up. And a little later, Hernandez was brought down by Legani in the box. Noble stepped up to convert, and the score was now 2-0 to the Hammers. The second half, well, Perry's had a good chance to bring it back to 2-1, but his shot went wide. Rondon free kick forced a good save from Fabianski, but West Ham, to be honest, comfortably hung on, so they took this game by 2-0.